My dear friends, in our gospel reading and the first reading, we see how pride worked against the characters here. So let's start with the first reading. Naaman the Syrian almost did not get healed because of his pride. And the same in our gospel reading, well, worse, because the Nazarene town mates of Jesus totally missed graces from Jesus because of their pride. So what is the evidence of their pride? In our first reading, Naaman, we see examples of Naaman's pride when he travels to Israel, and look how much wealth he brings. 10 silver talents, 6,000 gold pieces, and 10 festal garments. Isn't that overkill? You're just going there to want to be healed. It's like going to a hospital and bringing siguro 6 million pesos, something like that. Second, Naaman came with his horses and chariots and stopped at the door of Elisha's house. Pride. This is a simple Israelite. I will not enter his house. I will just stay there. Ooh, I'll enter his house. Yuck. And third, when Naaman was asked to bathe in the Jordan River, he said, clearly a sign of pride, "Are not the rivers of Damascus, the Abana, and the Pharpar better than the waters of Israel?" Pride. Then, in our gospel reading today, what is the example of the pride of the townmates of Jesus? They looked down on Jesus. They did not see him as an equal, right? Isn't he just the son of a carpenter? Pride. So that's why I'd like to talk this evening and differentiate self-esteem versus self-importance. Self-esteem versus self-importance. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem refers to how we appreciate and value ourselves. So how one appreciates and values oneself. Therefore, self-esteem is important. And you know that we are trying to develop your self-esteem or improve your self-esteem here in the seminary. In fact, the better, the higher your self-esteem, the easier it is for us to be more understanding, forgiving, or even patient with one another. Why? Because if our self-esteem is mababa, diba, we are insecure. And because we are insecure, then it's not easy to forgive. We are very sensitive, etc., etc. So, self-esteem is good in moderation. Because that can also be used against us if our self-esteem is excessive. And that's where self-importance comes in. We fall into the trap of self-importance. What is self-importance? Self-importance is the exaggerated sense of one's value and importance. Exaggerated. Exag. Okay. So more than what we really are. We are all important, but when we exaggerate it excessively, then that is bad. Okay? And it is because of self-importance that Naaman, the Syrian, and the townmates of Jesus were full of pride, so that Naaman almost missed being healed, but the townmates of Jesus totally missed encountering Jesus. So, what was the source of that self-importance, exaggerated sense of self-importance or value? Start with Naaman. What was his source? Why was he full of self-importance? Well, may abilidad naman talaga eh. Di ba? He was a great warrior, a great general. That's why he was even highly esteemed by the king of Aram. Di ba? Because he saw Naaman brought many victories, military victories for Aram. So, proud siya of his accomplishments. Second, Naaman was very proud because of his wealth. As you can see, ang balon niya to just travel, no? To make a little short distance. To travel is too much. Eh sabi nga ni Jesus, di ba? When you travel, don't bring much. Just bring minimum. Okay, I won't go into the details. Then another example of his pride, what caused his pride, is he was very too proud of his race. In other words, there was a kind of racial superiority. Right? We Syrians are better than these lowly Israelites. And looking at the townmates of Jesus, again, because nga they looked at someone based on one's station in life. This is only a son of a carpenter. Okay. So, there's the problem. So, how does this apply to us? No? We too, we can miss Jesus because of our self-importance, falling into the trap of self-importance, which leads us into pride. So, we can become proud of our accomplishments, our talents. We can be proud, as it said there, of our wealth, but it's not necessarily money, no? It can be, as I said, like talents, our skills, our abilities, etc. And another, well, I don't know, we're not really proud to be Filipinos, many of us. But we still feel proud, di ba? With siguro the Africans. We're not as black as them, something like that. So there's still a kind of pride. So, going to the gospel reading, it's about the status in society. No? They looked down on Jesus because he was a son of a carpenter. What does that say in our society also? Although we need different professions in society, there are professions that seem more prestigious, di ba? Doktor to engineer to, pare ito. So that's also a warning to us, dear friends. Pare ito, seminarista ito. Pwede maging proud ito. Sumobra ang self-importance. So let's be careful about that, no? We can fall into the trap. For example, we use our garbs to help us in liturgy. But when we want to use it to flaunt, pare ito, seminarista ito, we are not following the example of Jesus. So, my dear friends, as I said, we need self-esteem. It's important. But as one of our friends who already graduated said, don't fall into the trap of excessive self-esteem, which can be translated into self-importance. Let us remember, my dear friends, Jesus said, I came not to be served, not to be praised. I came to serve.